compassionate little sister. You are so heartless and so selfish. Look at Eric. Look at him. You humiliated him. Yes, I asked you to stop, Katie, and you didn't. So now you're going to regret it. Because this is war.
This is 10 News Melbourne with Jayde Cotic.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Calls are growing for urgent government intervention to put an end to the skyrocketing cost of fuel. Overnight, the price of standard unleaded reached $2.50 and diesel rose above $3. Increasingly, motorists are taking out their frustrations of higher prices on station staff.
Despair and disbelief at the Bowser. Yet another price increase leaving motorists fuming.
Yeah, 10 litres, $30. I mean, how can they justify that?
As a disaster.
It's just getting worse.
With the average for unleaded hovering around $2.50 a litre and diesel shattering the $3 mark, those who drive for a living say it's unsustainable.
About $800 before, but now come to about 1,600 to 1,800.
As fuel takes a bigger bite out of the household budget, the non-essentials are the first to go.
I have stopped all my shopping. I'm not going to Mecca.
Well, something needs to happen.
As servos around the state run dry, 167 are experiencing an outage, 115 have run out of petrol, 92 are out of diesel.
We are putting in place continuity plans here in Victoria.
The state opposition wants a pause to the federal fuel excise.
This is something the federal government can do now to provide direct cost of living relief.
A plea echoed by growers, with the fuel prices leaving some producers considering cutting their losses.
We don't know how we're going to be sustainable and stay here.
Their freight fuel levy alone soaring by more than 175%.
We've been in meetings and had discussions on where we're going to be in 6 months.
As prices rise at the fuel pumps, so are tempers at the register. Numerous service station attendants have told 10 News the abuse they get from customers has increased in recent weeks, and they just want them to know they don't control the costs.
It's not their fault, it's not their responsibility, and the public should recognise that.
Demand for fuel has increased by up to 400%. The state government blames panic buying, but many aren't yet considering an alternative form of transport. Have you considered buying an e-bike?
Yeah. At my age, I don't think so.
Abby Dinham, 10 News.
And Sam Mills joins us live from a service station in South Yarra. Sam, fuel prices are expected to soar even further tomorrow.
They certainly are, Jayde. Not good news for motorists at this point in time. We are here in South Yarra. $2.50 is the price per litre for unleaded. The fuel price caps for Victoria have been released late this afternoon, and they are seeing $2.60 across the board for many retailers. Some as much as $2.75, so certainly not helping the hip pocket there. Diesel's $3.05 here. We're seeing that rise 10 cents again to $3.15. In some places, even $3.25. So certainly not good news for those who use diesel either. It seems that there is really no reprieve to this petrol price hike coming up, Jayde.
OK, thank you, Sam. Treasurer Jim Chalmers says economic situation will get worse before it gets better as the federal government grapples with the fuel crisis. Despite other countries already adopting fuel rationing measures, Labor says it's not needed here in Australia.
South Korea is Australia's top supplier of diesel and second largest source of petrol. It's now activated a nationwide energy-saving campaign, urging citizens to limit car use, ride bikes, take shorter showers and only vacuum on weekends.
What sort of impact is that going to have on the shipments that are supposed to be coming in?
None, because they're domestically focused.
Rationing in Australia, the Energy Minister says, is not on the agenda, ruling out a $40 price cap at servos as recommended by a national fuel emergency manual written in 2019.
No, that is not a measure that I would be contemplating implementing.
You can have rationing in the cities by all means, and I think that needs to happen.
Tonight, there are more than 600 servos out of at least one type of fuel around the country. One Nation's demanding the federal government declare a national fuel emergency.
He has to pull the trigger. He has to do this today.
It would activate extra powers for rationing, price control and redirecting supplies to regions running dry.
We shouldn't be in this situation.
Chris Bowen insists it's not needed.
In addition to replacing those 6 cancelled boats, they have been able to secure at least 3 more cargo deliveries for April and May.
This is some Mad Max stuff, right? We are at that level where people are stealing fuel.
The Australian Industry Group says rationing, discounting public transport and cutting the fuel excise should all be considered. There's no change to the fuel excise on the cards despite rising cost of living pain. The Treasurer now admits modelling showing inflation hitting 5% by mid-year is now looking pretty conservative. Figures out today show inflation dipped to 3.7% in February before the conflict broke out.
It's still too high and the war will make it worse.
Chloe Boris, 10 News.
Victorians will soon have to set a reminder to do the washing at midday as the Allen government prepares to introduce a daytime power saver policy to ease the cost of living. Households will have access to 3 hours of free electricity each day, but critics say it's a deal too good to be true.
A power policy saver, the Allen government says, is for all Victorians.
Those who can shift their demand to during the day can benefit. People who work from home, and we know many Victorians do, will benefit.
If all are those who are home between midday and 3 p.m.
If more people are working from home, then it would make great sense.
It's not going to help us much because it's going to be at a time when our solar panel kicks in.
Well, I do that anyway on the days that I'm working from home.
From October, 2.6 million households will be offered 3 hours of free power. The Premier says it'll shave $300 off bills each year.
It's a time of the day when we've got capacity in our system because we've made those long-term investments in renewable energy.
The retailer still needs to recoup the costs of supply, and so that will be done in the periods outside the free time window.
Some customers may already be eligible for free electricity or off-peak costs, depending on plans with their own retailers.
This does not interfere or disturb with any other tariffs and arrangements that Victorians choose to have. This is an opt-in.
But while supportive, industry leaders say customers should do their due diligence.
If something looks too good to be true, it usually is. Consumers will have to be really mindful of that they can shift more of their energy use to the middle of the day.
A long time ago, I gave up worrying about what retailers think.
The announcement resembles a federal government policy that comes into effect from July, but Victoria was not included.
Hopefully it will help some consumers, but it may not be the best offer for every consumer.
Jessica Maggio, 10 News.
A New Zealand national has been handed a 24-year prison sentence for the jealousy-fuelled murder of his wife in 2023. Ramoni Maliaga stabbed his partner in front of 3 of their children and is likely to be deported when he is eligible for parole in 16 years.
A murder driven by jealousy. 3 years ago, Ramoni Maliaga stabbed his wife Lisa to death in front of their young children. A Supreme Court judge has sentenced the 44-year-old New Zealander to 24 years behind bars. The family of 7 moved to Australia in 2023 and was living with his brother at Melbourne South. In September that year, Maliaga falsely accused his wife of having an affair with his brother and was overcome by rage. He grabbed a kitchen knife and stabbed her 4 times. The judge told him she had a frightening and violent death. This took place in the presence of 3 of your children, and they all saw either the stabbing itself or its immediate aftermath. Maliaga was on medication and had previously been diagnosed with schizophrenia. You have an IQ of 61, which puts you in the lowest 0.5 percentile of the population and meets the threshold for a diagnosis of an intellectual disability. During the trial, the defence argued his moral culpability should be reduced due to his intellectual disability, but the judge concluded his jealousy was separate from his condition. I accept that your conviction that your wife was cheating on you was born from morbid jealousy. Muliaga will be eligible for parole in 2042. As a New Zealand citizen, he will likely be deported upon release, meaning he'll have to live in a different country to his children and his brother. Your children will spend the rest of their lives without their mother and having to deal with the fact that you, their father, killed her. Sophie Jacobson, 10 News.
For the first time in 2 decades, employees at the ABC have interrupted their radio and television broadcasts, taking industrial action in a fight for better pay and conditions. But management has defended its current offer, insisting it's fair and reasonable.
A mass exodus across the country as thousands of ABC staff downed tools and took strike action for the first time in 20 years. The walkout started at 11 a.m. and was evident on air just before planned mass meetings.
Before we go, there will be disruption to ABC programming for the next 24 hours.
In Melbourne, hundreds were cheered out of their office while their newsroom lay bare. From on-air presenters to technical directors, staff stood firm in the fight for improved pay and working conditions and a reduction in the number of rolling or temporary contracts.
You can be sent out to cover the lead story on 7 p.m. on a dangerous assignment and not know if you have a job when you come back.
We don't have the conditions, particularly for our younger colleagues, to get ahead and actually make journalism a job that they can survive in.
In Brisbane, more than 100 staff abandoned their posts.
It's not good enough, and we are not going to settle for a deal that sends us backwards.
A similar sight in Sydney.
Journalism without fear or favour does not flourish when you are fearing for your own job.
Shared outrage was felt in Perth.
We love our work, but it's just not sustainable what's been happening to us over the last few years.
ABC staff have rejected a 10% pay increase over 3 years. The offer includes a $1,000 bonus for fixed-term staff covered by the EBA. Negotiations have been ongoing for the past 9 months.
The offer that we've made to staff is fair and reasonable. I keep getting told that it's below inflation, but it's not.
He's offered you a below inflation increase and most recently a $1,000 sugar hit.
The strike will continue overnight in bureaus across the country. News Breakfast will not air tomorrow morning, but staff are expected back through these doors at about 11 a.m.
To get a better deal, a fair deal, for all of us and for the public that we serve. Thank you.
Jack Perry, 10 News.
Now here's Stephen previewing sport.
Thank you very much, Jade. Some big selection news at Collingwood as it prepares to take on the Giants. Skipper Darcy Moore and veteran Jeremy Howe will play, but what do the Magpies do with their underperforming forward line? Also, the Crows jet out to play the Cats, but it's going to be a tough task with news Jordan Dawson and Taylor Walker will be missing. And no looker, James Harden dishes out the party tricks as his Cavs beat the Magic.
Thanks, Stephen. Coming up in 10 News. In full bloom, your first look at this year's plant paradise at the Melbourne Flower and Garden Show. A load of croc. Melbourne Aquarium's newest heavyweight makes a splash.
Melbourne's gardens were loving the conditions today with morning sun and afternoon rain. Your weather update is after the break.
I have dreamt of walking into this garden for 17 years and now I'm here.
Just seeing the M at the top of that building, I'm just in awe. This is a step towards a dream.
And that dream starts with a white apron.
I'm coming with everything, and I'm getting one of those white aprons.
I am fighting to win that apron. It feels like fighting for my life.
How important is it for you to get your hands on one of those white aprons? Hey, who are these guys? Let's go!
I've got something for you.
It's now or never. It's my only chance to get an apron. I got an apron, I'm on the show. I'm gonna go now so I can just pee my pants just a little bit.
This is the kitchen of dreams.
La Roche-Posay new Anthelios UV Immune 400, our ultimate protection against harmful UV rays. With Mexoral 400, our biggest innovation in UV protection in 20 years. Trust the #1 sunscreen brand in Australian pharmacies.
If you've been injured at work or on the road, Gordon Legal's dedicated team of personal injury lawyers are here to get you back on solid ground. Call Gordon Legal now for same-day advice.
Mitsubishi's 10-year warranty with 10 years cap price servicing now includes 10 years roadside assistance.
Get out!
Drive away Triton GLXR from just $51,340 for ABN holders. Hurry into Mitsubishi today.
Ooh, these look pricey.
Not a TK Maxx.
Brands you love at prices you'll love even more. TK Maxx. Big brands, small prices.
Forgot this?
Love you, Dad.
There's a glass and a half in everyone.
Frustrated,
exercise, willpower, criticism. What's weighing you down?
Obesity is a chronic disease.
And like any disease, it requires ongoing care and support.
Start the weight conversation with your doctor today.
Easter is nearly here. Bring the family together with a crowd favourite like thick and juicy Woolworths quarter-pound beef burger varieties, 454 grams, perfect for barbecues, and a great Easter special, just $7.50 each, save $1.50. Shop in store or online today.
You mastered your mind. And all the while, you were on the train home. Audible. There's more to imagine when you listen.
G'day, it's James Padley in the Australian-made traffic centre, and it's a rough trot on the Ring Road Altona bound this afternoon with the crash at Pascoval Road. It's taken out a right-hand lane with speeds at 40 and heavy delays all the way back to the Hume Freeway. There's also been a prang in Mount Waverley, that one on High Street Road travelling eastbound at Lawrence Road, and in Thomastown on Settlement Road eastbound before Brand Drive. Finally, a breakdown in Endeavour Hills causing issues on Heatherton Road travelling outbound at Power Road, that one sitting in the right-hand turning lane. When you buy Australian-made, you're backing local businesses, jobs and our economy. Look for the green and gold kangaroo and know it's made right here. I'll be back again shortly with another traffic update.
Welcome back. The suspected ringleader behind the kidnapping and killing of a Sydney grandfather has been arrested during a dramatic raid. A 23-year-old man is now facing a murder charge in what detectives say is the biggest breakthrough of the case so far.
He's accused of orchestrating a kidnapping that cost an innocent life. But this morning, Declan James Donnelly was the one snatched from his Seven Hills home after a surprise visit from police.
Currently under arrest for kidnapping and murder of Mr. Baumgartel.
Disbelief and shock. Had no idea. No idea at all.
Police claim the 23-year-old was a major player in the alleged kidnapping and murder of Chris Bagzarian, but bungled the job.
What we will say is that he was involved in the kidnapping, and what we have said from the start is that they took the wrong person. We'll allege that he facilitated and recruited others to help in the kidnapping and detention of Mr. Bagzarian. We'll also allege that he arranged people to dispose of Mr. Bagzarian's body.
He was charged this afternoon and will front court tomorrow, arrested a week after police released this security video from near the vacant Dural home where Mr. Bagzarian was allegedly held and tortured. Donnelly is accused of being the man holding the torch, while detectives are still hunting the others. They also claim he was at the North Ryde home where Mr. Bagzarian was captured last month.
What we will allege is that he is not the highest, but he is a major player in this matter and these offences.
Neighbours say the 23-year-old had only been living at the Seven Hills property for a matter of weeks before he was marched out by police in dramatic scenes this morning.
I saw them last week also.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what were they doing?
They were smoking and they were sitting in front of their house.
At the property, police allegedly seized a gun, firearm parts, ammunition and drugs.
You never know what you're going to wake up to.
His partner, Janessa Thurston, was also arrested, but hasn't been charged in relation to Mr. Bagzarian. Donnelly is the third person to be put before the courts over the alleged kidnapping, but police believe up to 9 people were involved in an underworld plot that went horribly wrong. Hannah Stewart, 10 News.
It's big, it's colourful, and it'll teach you a thing or two about being a green thumb. The Melbourne International Flower and Garden Show is back, and it's tipped to attract more than 100,000 visitors. Steph Baumgartel has this special preview.
A grand display in Carlton's Royal Exhibition Building, the biggest horticulture show in the Southern Hemisphere, back in bloom.
I think the Melbourne International Flower and Garden Show would have to be the pinnacle of landscape and horticulture here, and flowers here in Australia.
Running from today through the weekend, the theme for this year is Kaleidoscope, inviting guests to admire shifting perspectives in floral artistry, landscape design and sustainability.
Take snippets. It's also about people finding a corner or a piece or a moment and going, wow, that would work.
It's an event for the green thumbs and beginners. You can walk amongst sculptures, take a workshop or explore at twilight as creativity takes root.
It's really cool to watch because there's a certain ambience that happens when the sun goes down here.
And if you need any extra inspiration to get into the garden, it's good for you.
There are so many health benefits to getting your hands in the soil, mental health, physical health, general well-being. It's the best thing that you can possibly do.
Victoria, the Garden State, for good reason. Steph Baumgartel, 10 News.
And that's where we find weather presenter Steph Baumgartel tonight. Steph, how's it looking?
Jade, isn't this spectacular? We're in the Great Hall of Flowers inside Carlton's Royal Exhibition Building. It is simply stunning, and let me tell you, it even smells even better than it looks. It is one of many beautiful displays here at the Melbourne International Flower and Garden Show, and it is so stunning. In fact, there is actually a wedding happening later tonight and another one on Friday, so if you're here for the twilight event, you might be able to get a sneak peek. In Victoria today, isolated showers swept in from the west. They arrived in the city at about 2 p.m. and they came in short and sharp. We had about 3 mils of rain in a 30-minute window. Since then, the radar has stayed fairly clear and it's looking to stay that way until about 7 o'clock. So your evening commute home should be a dry one. There is more rain on the way though. The city low today was 17 degrees and it reached a top of 28. It is still feeling quite humid, but Jade, I'll have your full weather forecast and rain outlook coming up closer to 6 o'clock.
Great, see you then. Thanks, Steph. A monster reptile has taken up residence at Melbourne Aquarium. The 400-kilogram crocodile was after a cool change, making the move down from far north Queensland. At 4.3 metres long, it's the only salty in Melbourne, but the croc arrived without a name, and now visitors will have a chance to vote.
This gives guests an opportunity to get up close in a safe way and also learn a thing or two about the species while they're here too.
The apex predator has arrived just in time for the school holidays. Well, still to come, a 15-point plan for peace. The US president claims talks are underway to end the war with Iran. And flying economy in comfort. The latest airline to offer lie-flat beds on long-haul flights.
Simon's on top of the world.
Simon's got the hair, the jawline. He looks like Superman and plays like him too.
But a sneaky plan is being hatched.
We're going to go commit some survivor crimes.
It's Survivor's biggest bluff.
Chaos could be caused tonight.
In the game's wildest tribal.
Once this happens, it will change everything.
The biggest bluff is about to be played on Survivor Sunday.
Next level dog people give their dogs next level protection with NexGuard Spectra. It's the most complete protection against fleas, ticks, mites, worms and even heartworm, all in one tasty monthly chew. Next level protection with NexGuard Spectra.
JB Hi-Fi's got always cheap prices. Like over $300 off this Asus laptop. Tossed out for $937. Sonos soundbar crunched $300 off. And grab a red hot deal on this Kindle Paperweight 12th Jan $299. JB, you've done it again.
What kind of crazy life hack is this?
The dishwasher doesn't dry the dishes well enough.
Try Finish Rinse Save.
For 2 times better drying, including on plastic, improving shine and protecting glasses.
Finish, the real life hack.
Come on, darling, up you hop. There's a glass and a half.
in everyone. Cadbury Hollow Easter eggs, in store now.
The Nick Scali Autumn Sale has been extended with up to 40% off selected lines. Save up to 40% at the Autumn Sale, extended until Sunday. At Nick Scali.
Sore throat? Trust Strepsils for soothing relief that's scientifically formulated. With dual action, Strepsils soothes a sore throat and helps fight bacteria. Or try Strepsils Extra for triple action, to numb pain fast, help fight bacteria and soothe the throat. Strepsils. Own every moment.
I don't know what the hell this is, but I do know it can't use a phone. Another big telco spends millions to build towers out here and charges customers for it. Vodafone doesn't, because clearly nothing's out here except for massive chickens. Ah! Instead, Vodafone doubled their network, which now covers where 90% of you actually live. Genius.
At 50 plus, your health needs may evolve. Is your multivitamin ready? Choose Centrum, the world's #1 multivitamin brand. Specifically designed for adults 50 plus, it contains nutrients that help maintain cognitive function, heart and bone health. Switch to Centrum 50 plus.
How far would you go to keep your home smelling fresh? Try Airwick 24/7 fragrance, aerosol-free automatic spray infused with 2 times more essential oil for up to 70 days of freshness. Now that's a breath of fresh Airwick.
Health insurance costs causing blood pressure to soar, yet some still not comparing.
Sir, why not take pressure down by switching and saving? Comparison is best medicine.
It pays to compare.
Simples.
She's from the real world. Is she the royal that holds all the power?
If she's not the heartbeat of the family, I don't know who is.
Tonight on 10.
Next on 10 News Plus, the club still honouring disgraced soldier Ben Roberts-Smith. Their surprise move when we got in touch.
And what's the secret to a long life? We ask a 90-year-old shipwreck hunter. See you at 6.
You're watching 10 News Melbourne. Pakistan is offering to host peace talks between Iran and the United States as diplomatic efforts to end the war take a bizarre turn. Donald Trump now claims Tehran offered the US an expensive gift during negotiations, and Israel plans to occupy Lebanon, sparking fears of a prolonged ground invasion.
Reaching through the rubble, a survivor desperate to be saved after a strike in Tehran. Destruction in Israel too as Iran hits back, missiles still launching, flying in the face of claims this conflict could end soon.
We're in negotiations right now. We negotiate with bombs.
Despite the regime's repeated denial of any talks, the US has offered a 15-point ceasefire plan to Iran, which Donald Trump maintains is desperate to make a deal.
They gave us a present, and the present arrived today. And it was a very big present worth a tremendous amount of money.
The president says it wasn't nuclear related, but something to do with oil, gas and the Strait of Hormuz. There is still no sign the regime will end its stranglehold on the crucial shipping waterway. As the US deploys another 5,000 soldiers, including paratroopers, to the region, Iran has appointed a new security chief, a hardline former Revolutionary Guards commander. In Lebanon, a major escalation. The IDF now plans to occupy a large area of the country's south, seizing land up to the Litani River around 30 kilometres north of Israel's border. It's nearly a tenth of Lebanon's territory. Israel describes it as a security zone, a buffer to prevent attacks from Hezbollah.
You're looking at a prolonged occupation so that the Israeli government and the Israeli army will be able to achieve a little bit of what they want to achieve.
Israel has already blown up 5 bridges connecting the north and south, and more than 1 million people are homeless. Hezbollah says Israel poses an existential threat, vowing to cling to the land. The cross-border conflict reigniting as weapons of the Iran war scar the region. This missile falling metres from a house in the West Bank. An incredibly close call. John Paul Gonzo, 10 News.
Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, has been found guilty of failing to safeguard users from sexual predators in a landmark trial in New Mexico. The social media giant had consistently argued it does all it can to keep users safe, but the jury disagreed, finding the company guilty of a raft of charges and fining it more than $500 million. The verdict opens the doors for victims of abuse to demand compensation. Lawyers for Meta indicated the company will immediately appeal the civil finding. NASA has cancelled its plans to deploy a new space station into lunar orbit and will instead focus on building a more permanent base on the moon's surface. Plans are underway to transform the space station into a base which is tipped to cost about $30 billion and take 7 years.
It should not really surprise anyone that we are pausing Gateway in its current form and focusing on infrastructure that supports sustained operations on the lunar surface.
The project comes as China makes progress towards making its own landing on the moon. Well, economy passengers will soon be able to stretch their legs and lie down on long-haul flights, with United Airlines introducing its Relax Row. The design consists of 3 economy seats that can be transformed into a couch, complete with a mattress and pillows. The airline says it's ideal for passengers who want more space, such as families with small children or couples. The seats will be available from next year. Air New Zealand has already a similar setup. Well, still to come. We'll have the latest on tonight's top stories. Plus, system failure. Chilling new details emerge about the fatal Air Canada plane crash in New York. And pride and joy. Tiny roars fill the air as Werribee Zoo welcomes 2 adorable new lion cubs.
Just when you think the deal is done.
There's one more chance.
Would you like to spin the wheel? Yes! Spin that wheel! Let's go! The jackpot's coming around! There's a lot of money!
The deal wheel's here, 6:30 weeknights.
Finding a bulk billing GP is getting easier. With increased government funding, more practices are offering bulk billing.
Looking good. Great.
So seeing a GP is now more affordable and accessible for all Australians.
Medicare's got the bill.
Thanks.
To find a bulk billing GP near you, visit health.gov.au/bulk billing. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
I'm Nat from O'Brien. These cracks all started as chips. Happens a lot. We replace thousands of windscreens, but a chip repair is faster, cheaper and greener. And with car insurance, your repair is usually free. Book today.
Next level dog people give their dogs next level protection with NexGuard Spectra. It's the most complete protection against fleas, ticks, mites, worms, and even heartworm, all in one tasty monthly chew. Next level protection with NexGuard Spectra.
C, it's a palmy in New South Wales. Oh, answer B, greatest female paddler ever raised in Penrith. A, it's the birthplace of the Lamington. Answer D, it's the biggest sand island in the world.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Great outfit. Wonder what she saved this time.
Brands you love at prices you'll love even more. TK Maxx, big brands, small prices.
This is Jenna, the captain. No time for fevers and fuss. Thankfully, Panadol Children now also has a new Tutti Frutti flavour with a smooth formula that is easy to swallow and can start to reduce fever in just 15 minutes. Relief without the fuss. That's one for Panadol.
Dad, what's for dinner?
Peppercorn sausages.
With less than 3% saturated fat, no artificial colours or flavours, gluten-free and protein-packed, Peppercorn Extra Lean is made for healthy appetites.
We all want financial security. To
be able to weather the uncertain times. Invest in La Trobe Financial's multi-award-winning 12-month investment account with income paid monthly.
Make some magical memories together at Tessalaka Bloom Festival of Flowers. With enchanting performances by Circus Oz, delicious food and drinks, fun and games for the kids, and more than 1 million colourful flowers, it's an unforgettable family day out. Tessalaka Bloom is nestled in the Dandenong Ranges, just an hour from Melbourne, a world away from the everyday. Open daily from March 21st to April 19th. Dogs on leash are welcome and kids 16 and under are free. Tickets at kabloom.com.au.
Get super excited. This Saturday is Tats Lotto's $20 million super draw. Wouldn't it be nice?
Every kid will know the answer to this question. But do you?
What is a common slang term meaning a combination of style, charm and attractiveness?
G'day again, it's James Padley in the Australian-made traffic centre, and there's a couple of breakdowns to watch out for. One in Niddry on Matthews Avenue southbound at Keilor Road in the left-hand turning lane. The other in Endeavour Hills on Heatherton Road outbound at Power Road with a right-hand turning lane blocked. There's still a crash in Mount Waverley on High Street Road eastbound at Lawrence Road and in Thomastown on Settlement Road eastbound before Brand Drive. Fortunately, delays are easing off though following an earlier prang on the Ring Road Altona bound at Pascoval Road. When you buy Australian-made, you're backing local businesses, jobs and our economy. Look for the green and gold kangaroo and know it's made right here. Have a great night. I'll be back again tomorrow with another traffic update.
You're watching 10 News Melbourne, and here are tonight's headlines. Pleas for the government to intervene as the fuel crisis deepens, with the cost of petrol and diesel skyrocketing daily. Households will have access to 3 hours of free electricity each day under a new power-saving plan to ease the cost of living. And the ABC scraps regular programming as staff walk off the job for the first time in 20 years, demanding better pay and conditions. Married at First Sight relationship expert Mel Schilling has died aged 54 after a battle with colon cancer. The TV star revealed 2 weeks ago that the cancer had spread to her brain. She had been undergoing treatment for the disease since December 2023. A psychologist with more than 20 years' experience, Schilling was born in Melbourne. She is survived by her husband, Gareth Brisbane, and their 11-year-old daughter, Maddie. Gareth shared the heartbreaking news on social media, writing that Mel had passed away surrounded by love. He described her as an incredible mum, role model and soulmate. A warning system failure and understaffed control tower are being blamed for the runway collision in New York that claimed the lives of 2 pilots. Investigators say a key piece of software didn't activate, exacerbating the strain on a small number of late-night air traffic controllers.
With the wreckage of Air Canada Flight 8646 still strewn across runway 4, investigators say those on board were let down by faulty technology.
ASDX did not generate an alert due to the close proximity of vehicles merging and unmerging near the runway.
Instead, just 2 controllers were left in the tower to monitor traffic in both the air and on the ground.
The midnight shift, as a reminder, is one that we have many times at the NTSB raised concerns about with respect to fatigue.
Travellers across the country are also tiring of increasingly long waits at airport checkpoints, with both sides of politics still arguing over funding the sprawling Department of Homeland Security.
It's hard to come to work every day and not get paid, and bills piling up, creditors not understanding.
In Houston, people are waiting at least 5 hours, with lines stretching across several floors of the airport.
You have to go down to the 3rd floor, up to the 2nd floor, outside, back inside.
The long waits in Philadelphia only matched by the length of this world record-breaking Philly cheesesteak sandwich.
They're going to TSA agents who definitely could use some lunch.
A very welcome free meal for agents set to miss another paycheck come Friday. In the United States, Catherine Firkin, 10 News.
Tiny roars are melting hearts at Werribee Open Range Zoo, with two adorable African lion cubs making their debut. Born last month to proud mum Azali and dad Sharu, the duo arrived on Valentine's Day after a 3.5-month wait. The zoo says the cubs will be named in coming weeks.
Right now they've just got giant milk bellies, tiny little ears, their little paws and their toe beans are incredibly cute. So watching them roll around and do all the things that they do, it's incredibly cute.
Their arrival grows the zoo's pride to 8 and marks a big win for the vulnerable species. There's roughly 23,000 African lions remaining in the wild. Now here's Stephen with Wednesday Sport, and Quarters injuries keep on coming in the AFL.
They do indeed, Jayde. Let's start with the good news. Skipper Darcy Moore finally returns for the Magpies along with Jeremy Howe to take on the Giants. However, down at Cardinia Park, Patrick Dangerfield is out for tomorrow's game against the Crows, while another top cat has been dropped. Meantime, there's a big man crisis at Tigerland as Richmond prepares for Mission Impossible in the wet against the Dockers. Plus, tennis undercover as some of the game's biggest names go incognito for a day of fun.
Her story was so remarkable.
She's from the real world. Is she the royal that holds all the power?
If she's not the heartbeat of the family, I don't know who is.
Her value cannot be questioned.
Kate, a queen for the future. Tonight on 10.
For top quality meals, you need premium cookware. You can get premium cookware for free by shopping at Woolies. Just scan your Everyday Rewards card and you'll earn 1 credit for every $20 you spend. Shop to upgrade yours for free.
Come on, darling, up you hop. There's a glass and a half in everyone. Cadbury Hollow Easter eggs in store now.
In a bit of a mess? Pino Clean has 3 times multi-action power to clean, disinfect and freshen. It's not clean unless it's Pino Clean.
Half protection is not enough. Using just an antivirus online is also not enough. Get better online protection with NordVPN. It'll encrypt your online traffic, protect you from malware, phishing, and stop annoying ads. Get NordVPN now.
Can't get meatballs off the mind? Just sizzle, pour, shake, cheeky, and answer big cravings with big flavour. Master Foods, you made it.
Sensitivity is when you feel that short, sharp pain. Sensodyne Repair and Protect has Novomin. It forms strong reparative layer over sensitive teeth. Try Sensodyne, it works. Nobody does sensitivity like Sensodyne.
When you rang Yui to talk about your car insurance, did they try and give you plenty of spin? Oh.
No spin, they just put their money where their mouth is.
Oh, okay. Shop around, try Yui. Let's all play. Everyone gets a turn.
Yui, you insured.
Some people say there's more to life than drinks. I guess they haven't tried these ones. The delicious new range at McCafe. There's a drink for that. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Can you believe I've saved nearly 50%?
And I saved 40.
Love it.
Brands you love at prices you'll love even more. TK Maxx, big brands, small prices.
After 50 years of supporting Australians hurt on our roads, Shine knows that with the right legal help, life can move forward. What's unfair can be restored. And together, we can right wrong.
Every kid will know the answer to this question. But do you?
What is a common slang term meaning a combination of style, charm and attractiveness?
Good evening. Collingwood will be boosted by the return of 2 premiership stars on Friday night. After completing training today, Darcy Moore and Jeremy Howe are confirmed starters to take on the Giants.
2 guns back into big time. The coach happy to declare Darcy Moore and Jeremy Howe will take on the Giants.
Yeah, we can stand here right now and say that they'll be selected to play. Yeah, Howie's an incredible organiser behind the play. So he'll see the game, and then he sets others up. And Darcy's just at his best. He's a great interceptor, and he's our captain.
Mr. Fix-It Billy Frampton will hold his spot, with McRae flagging Howe could be thrown forward.
I'd like to see how we go forward. Apparently his GPS is twice as much work as a forward, but I think he's got the capability to swing within games, yeah.
The optics of Nick Dacos spending the bye weekend in Tassie set tongues wagging in the Apple Isle, but McRae wasn't keen on taking any bait from the media today.
It's a great place to travel, Tassie. A bit of bass fishing, a bit of fly fishing, yeah, it's good fun. Look, all I'll say about Nick and Josh is that they are absolutely thriving in our environment.
And there's a selection dilemma on the cards at the Giants. Toby Bedford and Brent Daniels are on the edge of being fit to play, but does the coach pull the trigger before the bye?
As I said, assess the risk, whether it's worth it, whether it's a better decision to hold off and wait till post-bye.
Key forward Aaron Cadman will be held back for at least another week. Nick Butler, 10 News.
Geelong can't guarantee Patrick Dangerfield will be back for Easter Monday, saying he needs a solid training block as he deals with a niggling calf complaint. It comes as Brad Close has dropped to the twos for the first time in 3 years, but coach Chris Scott maintains that too is a conditioning issue.
On the face of it, Patrick Dangerfield looks ready to roll, but in Chris Scott's words, his calf has been grumbling along since Origin.
The biggest issue that he just hasn't had any continuity of training, and as much as anything, he's the one kind of driving. He feels like he needs a block of training to be really confident to play.
As for exactly when he'll be back, never mind the AFL directive for club transparency.
I don't pay any attention to the injury list. I'm not sure you should either.
Brad Close hasn't missed a game in 3 years. He'll play VFL this weekend.
We think we can put a program together for him to get him back to his best pretty quickly physically. Yeah, it's quite a proactive move in our opinion.
Adelaide come in heavily undermanned without Tex Walker and skipper Jordan Dawson, who has a sore calf.
You talk about games played, I mean Archie, Laird, Walker and Dawson. I think that might be our four most experienced players.
After the loss to Freo, there's no drinking the Kool-Aid for Stephen King.
I think my phone, I had 180 texts after the win, and I think my mum didn't even text me after the loss.
Melbourne will mark Max Gawn's 250th against Carlton, but King won't be drawing on that to lift his demons. Still, the former ruckman has plenty of love for his colourful captain, who's gone from a teen with a taste for pizza to an 8-time All-Australian.
The game's probably moved away from big men dominating, but he's just found a way with his ability to intercept behind the footy, his ruck craft. He's been a nightmare to coach against for a long time, and that's probably why he's the best.
And it'll be a double celebration with much-loved veteran Tom McDonald coming in for his game 250.
Reinvented himself back, then forward, premiership player. I don't even know if he was planning to play on this year.
Katie Price, 10 News.
Richmond coach Adam Uze believes starting the season so early could be putting players at risk. It comes as the competition tries to get a grip on a growing list of soft tissue injuries.
Everyone wants to play fast, offensive footy, and you can at the start of March because the grounds are hard and they're dry. So I'm not sure how fast the game's going to be in May. So yeah, I just think maybe starting the season where it does is just putting our players at risk.
Toby Nankervis's hamstring injury means the Tigers are considering going in against the Dockers without a recognised ruckman. The Melbourne Storm are moving on from last week's capitulation to the Broncos. Jerome Hughes says their younger players can use it as a learning experience.
Especially a couple of the new boys in our squad who hasn't played much first grade or is their first full-time starters. So it's a good lesson to have now in round 3 rather than later on in the finals.
The Storm travel to North Queensland to take on the Cowboys Saturday night. Uncapped Socceroos Denny Juric and Ante Suto both represented Croatia as teenagers, but have now pledged their allegiance to Australia ahead of the World Cup. Suto was selected despite never ever visiting the country. Juric is far more familiar with the side, growing up watching his big brother.
If the Juric family knows anything, it's producing strikers. Younger brother Denny is gunning to star at the World Cup like his older brother Tommy.
It's something my father's been dreaming his whole life, and even he said that even before Tommy started playing for the national team, he said, I'm confident enough that I'm going to have 2 boys playing for the national team.
That national team was almost Croatia, but like any younger sibling, he's always admired his big brother.
I only have the best memories of him in the Socceroos jersey, you know, from the Asian Cup win, you know, from the World Cup when he was there in Russia, of course. He tagged us along with the family to have a look at that, so that was a privilege just to be there, you know. Now having the chance myself to do that, you know, it would be a dream come true.
Both Juric and Suto are eligible roos through their fathers. Despite never setting foot in the country until now, Suto is adapting to the Aussie way, but admittedly won't warm to Vegemite.
My father has been bringing that home since I was a kid, and I don't like it.
Revealing a conversation with assistant coach Mile Jedinak ultimately confirmed his decision. Now in camp, over 16,000 kilometres from home.
Has 2,000 people. Everyone in the village are proud of me. So yeah, it's now I'm here in this city, in this country. Yeah, I get goosebumps now thinking about it.
Brooke East, 10 News.
After almost a decade, Liverpool great Mohamed Salah has announced his time with the club is up. He'll leave at the end of the Premier League season despite having a year left on his contract. The 33-year-old has had a rocky relationship with the Reds since last year, but has put that behind him.
You gave me the best time of my life. I will be always one of you. This club will always be my home, to me and to my family.
While it has been... Victorian skipper Will Sutherland is claiming a Sheffield Shield as the main driver in his career. The Vics take on South Australia in the finals starting tomorrow, with a sporting wicket predicted along with some wild weather.
It would mean so much. It's probably the main motivator for my cricket at this stage of my career, and I've played in a couple of losing finals as well, which you know, they've certainly stung.
I would have thought it might be slightly more live grass on it. Obviously with Boland and O'Neill and Elliott, Sutherland, they've got some great bowlers.
The Vics have made a tough selection call with Sam Elliott given the nod ahead of Mitch Perry. James Harden may still have some question marks come playoff time, but he remains a regular season maestro.
Harden has 26 points here tonight. He'll slash, go behind the back to Struz. Oh my! Wow, what a play. I mean, to have the confidence to throw a behind-the-back pass out to the top of the key or the three-point line.
The Cavs getting home over Orlando with Donovan Mitchell also on fire with 42, while Denver remains in fourth after a gritty win over the Phoenix Suns. Lucky his tennis gig goes okay for Taylor Fritz because he'd be hard-pressed to get a job at your local. The world number 7 going undercover at the Miami Open, revealing a lamentable lack of skill behind the bar.
Yeah, I mean, the form's the best part, right? Exactly. Yeah, cheers. I got tested for you, though. Yeah, that's perfect.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, all you.
Jess Pegula tried her hand at waitressing and begging for tips, while Jasmine Pierlini was busy flogging off some Yannick Slimmer T-shirts. So for bringing new meaning to customer service, these good sports bag our play of the day. Should have their own show. I like that.
Yeah, game, set, match. Thanks, Quarters. Now here's Steph with the weather.
Shake out your umbrella and your rain jacket tomorrow. There's plenty of rain headed our way. I'll tell you just how much should fall over the city right after the break.
Simon's on top of the world.
Simon's got the hair, the jawline. He looks like Superman and plays like him too.
But a sneaky plan is being hatched.
We're going to go commit some survivor crimes.
It's Survivor's biggest bluff.
Chaos could be caused tonight.
In the game's wildest tribal.
Once this happens, it will change everything.
The biggest bluff is about to be played on Survivor Sunday.
Easter is nearly here. Stock up for your egg hunt at Woolworths with Cadbury Easter egg bags 110 to 125 grams. A great Easter special, just $4.50 each, save $3. Shop in store or online today.
Download the Saily eSIM app and stay connected while travelling. Save big on roaming charges. Stay connected on your vacation in more than 200 destinations. Pick a flexible mobile data plan. Get the Saily eSIM deal now.
Alinta Energy is lending your household a helping hand with a great value energy plan. Switch to Alinta Energy online in minutes. Nice. Pass the butter, please. Alinta Energy. That's true power.
Forgot this? Love you, Dad.
There's a glass and a half in everyone.
How good's Easter?
How good's that? Big W.
Why shop at a steel dealer?
100 years of leading tool innovation. We take the time to understand what our customers need.
And go the extra mile to do it right in the first place. Buy well. That's steel for life.
How'd they get in there?
Price check on baked bean, hot cross buns.
Disgusting.
Forget the fad flavours and get the fabulously fresh hot cross buns. Baked today, this Easter at Baker's Delight.
Some people say there's more to life than drinks. I guess they haven't tried these ones. The delicious new range at McCafe. There's a drink for that. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
With Subscriptions Manager in the BankWest app, you can see everything in one place, which means less time worrying about forgotten signups and more time worrying about gravity, abductions, the future, and Sharon.
Hard work keeping flies off the menu? Try Aeroguard's UV Light Trap. It attracts and traps flying insects 24/7 and is chemical pesticide free. Trust Aeroguard.
Quitting smoking is hard, but every time you choose not to smoke, you improve your health. Download the new My Quit Buddy app and get support when you need it. Choose your heart.
Yeah, to me.
Find tools and support to quit. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
She's from the real world. Is she the royal that holds all the power?
If she's not the heartbeat of the family, I don't know who is.
Tonight on 10.
Welcome back. Time for a final look at the weather. And Steph, a cool change arrives tomorrow.
Jayde, it may have felt warm today. Tomorrow, though, it is going to feel a little more like winter. We've got some heavy falls coming our way and a big dip in the temperatures. The city today, though, had a low of 17 degrees and it warmed to a top of 28 this afternoon. In the outer suburbs, it was fairly warm and humid as well, with showers building across the afternoon. It reached 28 degrees in Essendon and a top of 29 for Geelong. It was a fairly moody start to the day with some dark clouds that cleared by about mid-morning. Near to the city, you would have been wondering where the forecast rain was, but scattered showers were on the way from the west, arriving about 2 p.m. In regional Victoria, the highest falls were recorded in Lake Eildon with 14 millimetres in the gauges. It was a hot day in the north. 30 was the top temperature in Swan Hill. It reached 24 in Bendigo and in Ballarat, 25. Around the rest of the country, most capital cities had a warm day. 31 for Brisbane, 28 in Sydney. Hobart had a cool morning of 15 degrees and it warmed to 24. Adelaide was drizzly and 28, and Darwin 33 with a storm or two. On the satellite image tonight, bands of cloud over mainly western and central Victoria with a trough is bringing about scattered showers and the odd thunderstorm, with lighter and patchier showers over eastern Victoria. For Tasmania, it's impacting mostly the northwest. Looking at the synoptic chart tomorrow, a cold front will cause thunderstorms, strong winds and heavy rainfall over southeastern Victoria. Temperatures will plunge and snow flurries are also possible across the Victorian and New South Wales alpine regions as colder air pushes through. Around the country tomorrow, Brisbane 32 degrees, Sydney gets rain, Hobart will reach a top of 17 with showers, Adelaide 20, Darwin 32. Back home, conditions will be much cooler statewide. Tops of 22 and 23 degrees will be the warmest, cooler in the south with a chance of hail, a chance of snow as well, above 1,400 metres in the evening. Closer to the city, our maximum will look more like today's minimum, a morning low of 12 degrees for Tullamarine, warming to 18. 19 will be the high for Moorabbin and Frankston, 18 for Geelong, with plenty of rain all across the suburbs. For boaties and swimmers, Port Phillip Bay will be rocky. Southwesterly winds 30 knots, wave heights 1.5 metres. Now for Melbourne's forecast, the city will dip to 14 tonight before climbing to a top of 18, up to 20 mils of rain for our forecast falls, building across the day and into the evening. Looking ahead to Friday, the rain is going to stick around and it is going to be very, very chilly. 16 degrees is the top temperature. On Saturday, showers are clearing, but it'll stay cool. 19 degrees is the high with up to 6 mils on the forecast. On Sunday, it'll be mostly dry and 20 degrees. Then the defrosting begins on Monday, warming to the high 20s by the middle of next week. 29 is the high on Wednesday, and that is all your weather details for this evening.
A sign of the times, the curious case of the disappearing tribute to disgraced war hero Ben Robert Smith. The bowling club with a real dilemma on its hands.
Pauline Hanson's answer to the fuel crisis puts city people onto rations. The laws already exist, but are we there yet?
Not fear-mongering.
We explore NASA's brand new plan to put astronauts on the moon and keep them there. And an important question for any moon colony, can you fall pregnant in space?
And searching for the secret to a long life, we ask the 90-year-old shipwreck hunter who reckons he still has unfinished business on the ocean floor.
Main thing is